welcome to this lesson on the fine old Morris dance tune Step and Fetcher. And this comes from the village of Bampton. Like lots of these tunes, they originated in small villages around Gloucestershire, Oxfordshire and other places in England. This is a dance that Chelmsford Morris do, the men of Chelmsford Morris do. It's a hanky dance, not a stick dance, and I'll add a link to the video of them doing it with this lesson so you can see it being done. The Melodeon isn't particularly loud, but you can see the dance very clearly on that video, just out of interest. Don't worry when you hear the word Morris if you don't play for a Morris side, if you've got no interest in Morris dancing. It's absolutely nothing to worry about. I played the Melodeon for several years before I even thought about joining a Morris side. As I say, I play for Chelmsford Morris now, but these tunes are great and you don't have to worry about that at all if you think, oh, I can't learn this because I don't play for Morris dancing. So what have we got here? Well, we're in the key of G major and all of the notes are on the G row, so that simplifies things, doesn't it? The time signature is 2-2, which is cut common time. And the reason we do this is so that we can express the music much easier, in a more simple way, if you like, in crotchets and quavers rather than loads of semiquavers. And we set our metronome to 81 minims per minute. So that sounds like this. 2 and 1. And there are two strong points of emphasis. 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. So it's fairly brisk, it's a fairly sprightly little dance, this. The music looks like 4/4. It's got the same amounts of crotchets and quavers as a bar of 4/4. If you think of it as a fraction, 4/4 is the same as 2/2. 2 halves is the same as 4 quarters, but it's played twice as fast. One other bit of good news is that the whole tune is played in one right hand position, and the position that I call pos H, position home, on a fourth button start instrument like this. That's a G on the push, so I put my first finger there, my second finger on the button below that, third finger, fourth finger, so literally G, B, D, G. The whole thing is played on those 4 buttons, either pushing or pulling. And if you've got a third button start instrument, obviously it's one up from that. Now in this tune we're going to use a new bit of technique, something I call the chug, that I've picked up, and I've done a little bit of this in the past. But in the C music, the C section, we're going to do that all the way through that. We're going to do a tiny bit of it in the A section just to kind of whet your appetite. And then when we get to the C section, we're going to do loads and loads of it. And it's a really interesting, very rhythmical way of playing. The order is 4 times through, but the second and fourth times you'll do the second time ending of the C part. And on the very last time, on that fourth time, you'll only go as far as the 5th note in the right hand. Do our usual G bass G chord to finish. So make sure your fingers are placed correctly before you start. Your 4 buttons should sound like that. And you put your fingers down on a push. And you're going to play a little pickup bar to start with. If you're not sure what that is, well, that's the bar right at the top of the page. And it's an incomplete bar to kind of spring off into the main tune. So you count 1 and 2 and play those 2 quick little notes there, a B and a C on the same button, push pull, finger 2, and there is a dagger underneath the second note. So that's my symbol for suggesting that you don't repress the button. Just leave your finger on the button, although you can go like that if you want to. A lot of players prefer to do that. Myself, maybe I'm lazy or maybe I just like the sound of it, but that's what I do. So wherever you see a dagger, that's the suggestion. So 1 and 2. And tiny movements of the bellows. You don't need to yank them left and right really hard. Oh, I should give Celia Kemp a mention in this. She's the leader of our Morris band. She's been playing many years. Really fine player. I've learnt lots from her by watching her and playing along with her. So this is kind of Celia's version of this that I've adapted slightly. Now, when we get to the first main bar, That's on the next stave. Now the pickup bar is not bar number 1, that's called bar 0. So bar number 1 is where you can see that big A in the square there, and that just means the start of the A music. And if you cast your eyes across the other pages, you can see a B and a C. It's pretty clear, isn't it? The 3 parts are on 3 separate pages. So let's get into our first bar, bar number 1 on that second stave, and this is the right hand. So you would count that, because we're in 2-2, we're only counting up to 2 in each bar, you count it 1 and 2 and like that. So we've got a D on the push, finger 3, a B on the push, finger 2, same button pulled out will give you C, push in again to get B, pull out again to get C, and then the button above on the pull gives you A. So you've got a couple of daggers there because you can go like that. That's the beauty of that, I think. You just got to be careful if you're using that style, just to make sure the notes are clear. It doesn't get too kind of slurred. So that's 1, 2, and the left hand for that bar, G bass G chord, C bass C chord. So G bass G chord on the push, C bass C chord on the pull. And I use my little finger on button 4, my third finger on button 3, both rows there, and they come on 1 and 2 and. So put it all together.